What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. This slate is on crack so far. We have Tuesday, you get a run, and you get a run, and Giolito 5 by the hook. That was hurtful. Only pitcher prop there. So my undefeated streak of pitcher props, I had gone 7 in a row. It is no more. 7-1 there as of Giolito deciding to, throw 100 pitches in less than 4 innings, getting absolutely slapped around by the Mets. But he's not the only one with some insane stuff going on. Hey, kind of called the San Diego one. That feels good to be right about that because, well, Alek Manoah, he's basically like the Spider-Man meme. He's the same dude that we saw leave. Face Detroit. So again, sometimes helps to listen to this program. There's other times where maybe it doesn't. Like, I don't know, the under of Cleveland and Pittsburgh got blown to smithereens because Mitch Keller, comeback Keller, is no more. He is now Old Yeller. Must be set. Oh, it's sad. I can't even go down that road. But 8-1, that one's done. Wild stuff. We have Atlanta right now in the middle of an absolute scoring fest. It's 8-6, bottom fourth there. 5-1 Dodgers right now. 8-2, that Mets and White Sox game. Cincinnati and San Francisco, 2-1 in the bottom of the first for game 2 there. Well, it's technically the first game. They played the suspended game. I don't know where the night's going to lead us. All I know is I need Detroit to win. They're up 2-0. That's good stuff. And the under of 7.5 for Minnesota and Seattle. Hopefully you're able to get on those early because we've got a ton of closing line value coming off of the Monday night editions into Tuesday's Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks, and then Lindy's Locks update over on my Twitter at Eric Lindquist, where I update you on the locks and brought Alex Bregman props into the fray. Hopefully, he can do some good things for us tonight. But friends, that's enough of the intro there. I'll talk about BetMGM a little bit. You can sign up for that now if you want to get a head start. Get yourself 2 months of Discord access. Myself, Ben Raza, Eitan Shander, so many sharp guys, so little time. Join that Discord as well as up to $1,000 in bet credits. Yes, that is going to be up to $1,000 in bonus bets coming back into your account if your first bet loses. Whether you deposit $20, $50, $100, up to $1,000, doesn't matter. That first wager, if it doesn't win, back to you in bonus bets only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But we'll talk about them a little bit later. I have 15 games on this docket once again for Wednesday. Part 2, the sequel. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. Our day begins in Pittsburgh, where Mitch Keller, he is no more after whatever I just witnessed. That first inning was just insane to watch. Can't believe some of his stuff, how south it's gone. I mean, he was having one of the all-time comeback years. Sad to see him fall by the wayside, but it's Aaron Savale here for the Cleveland Guardians. Pittsburgh's going to be throwing out Rich Hill, who's 100 years old. Always fun to watch the southpaw go out and throw 74-mile-an-hour curveballs. I wish that was like an exaggeration, but it's a little bit of an exaggeration. But still, 10.3% barrel percentage for him. And now this Cleveland team's starting to wake me up inside. Can't wake up. Evanescence season. God, I don't like myself either sometimes. 87 WRC plus isn't exactly good against lefties, but they do not strike out. And now you're starting to see power even for guys like Josh Naylor left on left. You're starting to see Bo Naylor, his brother, coming to the fray, having some fun. Jose Ramirez all the time. Ahmed Rosario, Josh Bell, switch hitter. I don't know, Cleveland feels like the better bet amongst the two. But there's one bet that I like just a little bit more. And I'm going to be going towards the over of this one, mainly because Aaron Savale, 34.7% hard hit percentage, 374 expected slugging. Those are good things. But the ball's getting put in play, and there are some lefties. Yes, I do think Pittsburgh's a team that when it comes to lefties, that we have a little bit more options, more guys to be choosing from. Carlos Santana, better switch hitter from the left side. Brian Reynolds, better switch hitter from the left side. Jack Sawinski, only a hitter from the left side. G-Man Choice, same thing applies there. Andrew McCutchen, good against most people. Henry Davis, former #1 prospect. He's up there at the big league level now. There's some decent enough pieces here. I think the over of 8.5 gets our day rolling in a nifty little fashion, leaning that direction, liking that direction, not locking that direction. So again, if you want to take the morning off, sounds good, but I fired this up. Over 8.5, we like it for a half unit. Los Dodgers going to Baltimore for this one, and Julio Urias going up against Dean Kremer. I think you know where I'm going with this one because Dean Kremer, he is not very good. A lot of these Baltimore pitchers, not very good. Bullpen, two really good bullpen arms. Dean Kramer, 493 expected slugging, 45% hard hit percentage, 355 xWOB, and I don't know. Dodgers seem like they're pretty good against righties, huh? That's because they are. 113 WRC plus, fifth best mark in baseball. You put this lineup in, I project them for runs. Oh my gosh, afternoon game in Baltimore, short porch out to right. And the other part of this, Julio Urias gets a nice large fence out there to left field. Definitely helps to be a lefty in this ballpark. If I'm Baltimore at the deadline, I just try to find as many decent lefty starting pitchers as are on the market. Tariq Skubal, Matt Boyd. Oh, that's sad. Sad rip to him. But otherwise, you got some guys. Jordan Montgomery from St. Louis. He had another one off to a decent outing through a couple of innings. We'll see if he can keep it going here. Still 0-0 top of the fifth, so he's moving along pretty nicely in that one. So Julio Urias gets the easy backing from me, minus 150. I'm more than happy to be firing this up right off the bat. So 2 plays to start off the card. Doesn't happen every day. Doesn't happen every day. Of course, I have a play from Seattle, so we can just keep that narrative going from this one. Oh, it's a total. Enjoy that. Los Angeles Dodgers money line. We like it on Wednesday afternoon. Tampa Bay, Texas, yet another outing here for this one, and we are waiting TBD. Look at these lovely pitcher props. Producer Jacob, all-star game. It just happened, otherwise we would have voted you in. We got John Gray on the other side here for the Texas Rangers, and well, the strikeout stuff continues to be way down. Yeah, way down is the right way of putting it. 19.8% K rate. That is a far cry from days of yore. Him in Colorado, him at the beginning of his Texas career, 25.7% last season to 19.8%. And if you're not going to be missing bats, I'm kind of freaked out about what we're looking at here on the other side going up against Tampa Bay. But this is probably going to be a prop fest for me. And I do think we know who we could be getting for at least a bulk reliever in this spot for the Tampa Bay Rays. That is, you got Mr. Cooper Criswell. There we go. Made sure I found that. 5.04 ERA, 1.48 whip across the board. Not very good. Not very good. You know who's really good against righties? This Corey Seager fellow with a 199 WRC plus, absolutely smacking up righties. Yeah, well, nearly a 200 WRC plus is as good as you're going to find in baseball. In fact, that's a higher WRC plus this season than Shohei Ohtani against right-handed pitching. Heard of that guy? He's having an okay season. Just throwing it out there, friends. So pretty positive that Corey Seager with a 638 expected slugging and a 56.5% hard hit percentage is going to be on the card if you get anything better than plus 275. Now, I do expect Tampa Bay, they're smarter than the average Bears or front offices. From the Tampa Bay side, they should try to throw a lefty out there, at least to kind of keep Corey Seager a little bit honest. But considering everybody else at the top of this order, Simeon, Garcia, Josh Young, they're all going to be hitting from the right side. So maybe you don't, but I want to avoid this Seager bat if I'm them. It's going to be Criswell. Fire it up. Any righty, fire it up. Corey Seager to go long, better than plus 275. Oh, this Cardinals team. Just disgusting stuff that we're seeing from them. And, well, how do they not have an announced starting pitcher? Oh, yeah, because they don't care and they could trade anybody at any given moment, even though it's not going to be for a little bit until this deadline. That's going to be a creepy week, friends. We're going to have to do some digging. I love that week, though. It definitely, just like the All-Star game, I think that there's some specific edges to betting certain things and knowing the rules of your sports book, knowing whether or not your bets get voided because of a pitcher absence or if they keep rolling, because you can get some real special individuals for a team like St. Louis that more than likely is rolling out Dakota Hudson here, but we don't know that for sure, so I'm not going to go completely nuts. If you want to know if I fire something up here, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. But Sandy Alcantara, we know, is going to be the starter for Miami. What a down year. 19.6% K rate, 270 expected batting average, power to lefties and righties alike, just not getting swings and misses. 97, 98 on the gun, doesn't even matter. 4.39 expected ERA. Movement is king when it comes to a lot of these pitchers. Almost all of them are throwing some kind of heat, especially out of the pen these days. But Sandy, one of the more tried and true starters over the course of the last 2 years. This season, that is just not the case. Running into a lot of tough sledding. And St. Louis with Arenado, with Goldschmidt, with Nolan Gorman, with all of these bad Lars Nootbaugh, Dylan Carlson, Alec Burleson. Yeah, hasn't been their fault this year, that's for sure. Still like the lineup. Afternoon baseball. We're talking a 2:15 p.m. start time. East Coast, actually, it's 1:15. I think St. Louis is actually in the Central Time Zone. Pretty positive it is. I don't really give a shit. I know it's afternoon baseball. Friends. St. Louis money line. That's going to be the lean here, but it has to be anybody other than Dakota Hudson. If it's Dakota Hudson, just don't do this. Just don't do this. Oh, my friends. How about an afternoon lock in Colorado? Sounds like fun, huh? Well, it depends on the weather. So, I don't do this normally because I would just say like it and nobody wants context. They just zip ahead to the plays. They just want to see, oh, Eric locked this one. He locked that one. Let's have some context conversation. I'm looking at radar right now. I don't know if you knew this. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not. It's crazy. But windfinder.com and google.com are my weather advisories, okay? So this is what we're going to do. I want to be locking the total here. I do. I want the over. I want it really, really bad. But we'll get to the ins and outs of why. But you have to be paying attention to this weather. If you are risk adverse, if you are not interested in having something happen where this game plays 3 innings and then rains out, don't make this bet. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it in the comment section. I don't want you to be sitting there. If you are just, I need to put this in every parlay. I'm only parlaying your locks. I'm only doing this, yada, yada, yada. Do not make this a lock like me. I am not risk adverse. I feel pretty good about what we've accumulated over the course of the last 45 to 50 days since we have gone on this insane heater. It's been a little bit rocky here the last day or two, but I think hopefully this evening can come through for us here on Tuesday. Keep this train a rolling. 3 home run props that we hit on Monday as well. Different ways of being profitable. Found ways, though, over the last month and a half to really right the ship, to bring us back to Profit Town. And this one requires you paying attention. Good, great, grand. No yelling on the bus. Name that movie. Anyway, we've got Houston, we've got Colorado. It's going to be a lock, my friends, mainly because the pitching is very, very bad. We got Mr. Bilak here on the Houston side. We have Mr. Gomber, Austin Gomber, southpaw, out there from the left side for the Colorado Rockies, and I expect runs in bulk. Both of these guys well north of a 45.7% hard hit percentage, well north of 365 xWOBAs, 300 expected batting average for Austin Gomber, going to face a litany of righties. That's not good for him. And I don't know, it's 90 degrees here, expected to be in Denver in an afternoon spot, not just that evening weather where it can cool down a little bit. So the over of 12, this thing's going to be 13 or 13 and a half really damn quickly if the weather cooperates. So I'm just saying, my favorite play on the board, period, is the over of 12. What a time to be alive. Coors Field, do your Coors Field things. Back to some normal likes going forward here for a little bit. We got Brian Bayo, somebody you know by now I like a lot, going up against Ken Waldichuk. And how much wood could a Waldichuk chuck if a Waldichuk could chuck wood? Not very much, because you just run into all the wood. You couldn't chew it. You wouldn't gnaw out the bat. You can't eat up a bat. Just bats explode hitting the ball 450. Even in Oakland. 351 xWOBA, 20% K rate, 12.7% walk rate, 4-seamer, changeup. That's all he throws, and they're not good pitches. Oh, and my guy Brian Bayo, he's really good. 303 xWOBA. Now we're seeing that ground ball rate go up, up, up. It's north of 55.5% now. Holy mother of God. Our boy is all grown up. He's starting to do things. He's starting to express himself in a very positive manner. Yeah, daddy's proud, except for that sounded creepy. 3.14 ERA, 1.20 whip. I like everything about him. I like the matchup. We just saw Nick Pivetta mow down 12 of those dudes in relief. What are we doing here? Nick Pivetta? My God. Is he going to get another turn of the rotation because of an Oakland start? That would be the most classic Boston Red Sox thing of all time. Hey, he doesn't deserve the starts. Yeah, we're going to do him in long relief. Oh, he struck out 12. That's interesting. Let's try it again. It's not going to go well. Just throwing it out there. but Brian Bayo's going to go well here for us. I'm putting the 1.5 out here. Give me -125 on the run line here. Afternoon in Oakland. I think it trims that gap that you're looking at between the money line, between the run line. I feel pretty confident that it's better to go a little bit aggressively here, considering Boston's run outcome, their range of outcomes going up against Waldichuk. It's all about that base, no treble. Give me a like. And I hate this thumbs thing. It's still confusing me. One more pre-7 p.m. Eastern time game before we turn it loose here with 8 more games. But Milwaukee, Philadelphia, interesting spot that we have before us. As you can see above me, you got Colin Ria. You got the Sanchez character, Christopher Sanchez. Kind of an interesting combination of these two. And Sanchez has been good. Sub-1 whip, 3.26 ERA. Ria's not been good. 4.71 ERA, 1.22 whip. Now, overall, Ria's never really had the kind of stuff that you were looking for. I don't think he's ever going to be a strikeout king by any means in the big league level. He's just a guy, and they are biding their time, twiddling their thumbs until Brandon Woodruff gets back. They are looking for that, like, now. Fastball Freddy, he's had a rough go of it. Pretty much everybody else in Milwaukee had a rough go of it. Isn't named Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns is back to being Corbin Burns. We'll talk about him here very soon. But Christopher Sanchez on the other side of this one, I'm a little bit fascinated by his numbers. 44.2% hard hit percentage. That's not good. But a 54.7% ground ball rate. I always have to be starring these kind of guys, especially when they run into a matchup like this one that is about as prime as it gets for a southpaw. Yeah, you know by now, I love to target my Milwaukee guys with lefties. However, this is a lot of hard hit for him to be giving up. A 430 expected slugging and an 11.6% barrel percentage. I'm going to make him prove it to me that he can keep this ground ball rate going, but it's not like I'm going to back Ria here again. We just want runs. Give me all of the runs and all of the lands. Too many lefties going up against Colin Ria to not fire this one up. I am leaning the over of 9 here. I'm having kind of torn. I kind of want to bet Philly. I kind of want to take the over. I kind of want to do a lot of things here. Maybe props are the way we go, but 15 games. Let's be a little bit more selective, but I got to say this actually projects out on my sheet. It says I should like this. You can't see it. That's not helpful to you in any way, shape, or form. It's helpful to me. It says I'm supposed to play this. I'm not going to play this. Afternoon baseball in Anaheim. We're going to get this one out of the way super, super quick, mainly because Carlos Rodon, pretty good pitcher. Who's pitching for the Angels? I have no flipping idea. I have a guess. Would you like to guess? I'll let you go. 3, 2, 1. No, you have to say the pitcher you think it's going to be when I say 3, 2, 1. You ready? 3, 2, 4. See, I screwed with you. I have no idea who it's going to be, and neither do you. So it doesn't matter. Let me know on Twitter if you want to have some interest in this one. If you see some random name that I currently don't, that ends up being the guy from the Angels. But I literally don't even have a person in mind of who this could be. I bet they call somebody up from AAA. I bet you get some kind of a bullpen scenario, and that might be an interesting spot to maybe try to target Rodon, depending on what that number is. But Rodon, extreme fly ball contact so far, 45.2% hard hit percentage, but he's just getting the wheels turning. And I talked about it before that Colorado opening. You got Chris Bryant and CJ Cron back into the mix there for the Rockies. It was a tough spot in Coors Field for his second outing of the season. So now giving up 6 earned over the course of 5 1/3. I think this is the first opportunity you have for him to go nuts, but it looks like it's going to be hot in Anaheim tomorrow. Also looks like an afternoon baseball game. For this to be the first game starting in that 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific time window, pretty wild for it to be Anaheim. So get the kids out of summer school early, take them to the ballpark, get out. Ow. Fuck. Ow. God, it was just supposed to be a lean. Son of a biscuit. Whatever. Yankees, -1.5. I need some ice. Gonna ice my elbow here as we talk a little BetMGM. What a loser I am. Whatever. Bang your elbow for the good of the game, friends. 2 free months of OS Premium Discord. That is my betting card. Ben Raza's betting card. Eitan Shander's betting card every single day. Well, for me, it's every single Sunday through Friday. Saturdays, they are not for the boys. They are for my dog and wife because I don't want to get divorced. So that's good stuff. 2 free months, though. You're going to get a premium Discord of myself when you sign up with BetMGM in the link below. But that's not all, friends. Some would argue this is better, but I mean, I like to give myself a little bit of credit from here and there, but I think this is a phenomenal add-on with it. Up to $1,000 you'll get back in bonus bets on your first wager, no matter what happens. So here's how it works. If you put $100 in and you win, you're going to win you're going to win whatever it is that you made for that first wager. But if it loses, you're going to get $100 back in bonus bets immediately. Yeah, you heard me. If that first wager loses, whether it's $50, $100, all the way up to $1,000, you're going to get it back in bonus bets if that first wager doesn't win. So some might call it a free roll. I wouldn't go that far as that is, because again, you got to play the BetMGM stuff. You got to play to win the game. Duh. Herm Edwards, I don't know what he's doing. Probably playing golf up in Monterey. But BetMGM, this is a great deal. 2 free months of the US Premium Discord, in addition to up to $1,000 back in bonus bets, no matter what happens to your first wager. It doesn't matter what your name is. Great stuff from our friends over at BetMGM. Only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, let's get ourselves flying with the rest of the picks. Another like on the board here for us. Interesting pitching matchup with Yu Darvish against our old friend Jose Berrios. And you know what? I haven't said it for a while, so I'll just say it because we're going to be targeting him. Happy Jose Berrios Day to all your loved ones, to everybody who celebrates. Now, Jose Berrios been much better this year. You just saw him against Arizona, only 1 earned over the course of 5 1/3. Outing before that, 0 earned against the White Sox, but he's had a couple of tricky spots. At Miami, gave up 5 earned. Boston at home, gave up 4 earned. Had some inconsistent numbers in terms of ground ball, fly ball. There are times you can tell a Jose Berrios start how it's going to go within the first inning. I'm telling you, it's probably the most predictable thing ever. I should probably start live betting some of those, because there's times where I'm like, I'm not going to get after this idiot, and it just really sucks. But Jose Berrios, one of the more overrated pitchers in baseball over the course of the last 5 years. This year, though, I will give him his due. We've probably only targeted him 2 or 3 times, maybe the entire ride. And I wouldn't call it targeting him so much as I'm targeting this number. I'm getting even money on a Padres lineup that I do expect to have a much better second half of this season. The NL West is a gauntlet. They're not playing each other as much throughout that season, but it doesn't help that you have to go play an AL East team here like Toronto. But Yu Darvish on the mound for him, 298 xWOBA, 368 expected slugging, 26% K rate, better numbers across the board than that of Berrios. And I would argue an equalish lineup, especially when you talk about those top half of the lineup with Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado. That's very comparable to what you're looking at in Vlad Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, Matt Chapman, George Springer. A little bit of a down year, even though 283 expected batting average. I expect him to have a better second half of the season as well. So mostly a neutral pitching matchup here. I do think Josh Hader helps to have him in that pen here for the Padres. I'm going to pay attention to some of the stuff with the updates coming off of this game that is well, it's gotten wonky, at least on one side of the board. San Diego putting up lots of runs there against Manoah. It was like I was right about stuff. Let's try to be right about stuff again here. San Diego money line. We're running it back at even money. Easy half unit. The Mets, oh my gosh. METS, Mets. Absolutely blasted Lucas Giolito. I needed one more strikeout, bro. You could give up 34 runs. I didn't give a shit. Just get my strikeouts. Whatever, we don't have to worry about that guy tomorrow. I mean, I'm still upset. I wanted 8 in a row. I was thinking I was never going to lose another pitch. No, I was not thinking that. But we have Touki Toussaint getting a run through the rotation after a couple of long relieving efforts where he was relieving guys like Lucas Giolito get lit up. Going up against Justin Verlander. And this is a fascinating spot to me because this is a big number on the money line here on the White Sox side. Now, the White Sox are terrible. But when have you seen minus 200 on a Verlander start of late? I'll answer. You haven't. Because he has struggled mightily in a Mets uniform. 3.72 ERA, 1.23 whip. That isn't really where he's been struggling. It's been hard hit. 43.5%, 16-degree average launch angle, and just a 20.2% K rate. It's almost like he's starting to show his age, although his wife, really attractive, probably helps him show his age a little bit less. Probably, I'm not focused on pitching. I would understand that, Justin Verlander. But then you got to take some shots here. And I'm not a big, huge Touki Toussaint fan. I was once upon a time, but A 1.38 whip doesn't look great, but the 3.38 ERA, there's some good things that he's doing with that primary curveball so far this season. Now, he just has a 21.6% K rate, which is the lowest of his career. He still has a 4.96 expected ERA, but he switched up his pitch mix, and that sinker, which was a garbage, and I mean garbage pitch that he threw 40% of the time last season, it's all the way down to just a 19% usage. I think that is only a good thing. Last season, 455 slugging with that pitch. This season, finally, not really utilizing it all that much because the curveball, 192 slugging and a 141 expected batting average. If he's locating that, he's throwing it 35% of the time. I think there's a sneaky amount of upside trying to back the White Sox with Touki Toussaint. They're just using their garbage relievers here at the moment, down a bajillion against the Mets. I expect them to keep at least their top guys fresh. I think that creates an opportunity for some value at plus 180 on the money line. I know some of you guys just don't like this. I don't give a shit. Plus 180, Chicago White Sox money line. I almost locked this, but I just prevented because otherwise I'll just get made fun of, and it is what it is. Also, it's only supposed to be a half unit play, but I really, really like it. San Francisco and Cincinnati here in this one. Ross Stripling on one side, Graham Ashcraft, who's been pitching better. I've been giving him his due, haven't been targeting him nearly as much. Although there are some situations where you're going to run into, San Francisco's a good baseball team. They're going to try to run the platoon out there against Ashcraft, and that's going to reach, well, it could just be a big problem for a guy with a 359 xWOBA, but 15.9% K rate. So Graham Ashcraft, that's going to be a tough spot. Oh, my dog. He just wanted to say hi. Anyway, Ross Stripling on the other side, 497 expected slugging, 354 xWOBA for him. Giving up a lot of power. I'm saying a lot of power. 30 innings to righties, 15 and a third to lefties, giving up 9 homers already to the right side of the plate. There's one guy who I don't even think he's been on the board for me from a home run perspective, but it looks like based on where we saw his numbers for both game sets today, it wasn't a doubleheader. It was a suspended game into this. I think Matt McClain is a little bit sneaky in terms of upside if we get these kind of numbers that we've seen of late. He's batting third, 41.6% hard hit percentage, 12.7 degree average launch angle, which is higher than the likes of Elly De La Cruz by an absolute mile. So as much attention as Elly De La Cruz gets, 2.6 degree average launch angle, home runs are not his bag, baby. By Austin Powers. So I don't know, let's just hold the world hostage. Yeah, Matt McClain to go yard. It feels good, right? Yeah. I'll be serious for this one, mainly because it's a lock and you need to hear the words that I say. Ryan Nelson over here for the Diamondbacks. On the other side of this one, Charlie Morton. And let's start with Ryan Nelson because he's a gas can. 43.5% hard hit percentage, just a 15.8% K rate, and overall, nothing in terms of stuff that I'm all that impressed by. The four-seamer that he throws 54.2% of the time is not all that good. He throws a cutter, slider, change, curve, all right around 5 to 15% of the time. Nothing's good. And a 10.6% barrel percentage. Let me know how that goes for you against an Atlanta Braves team that has a lot of power. I don't know if you've ever heard anybody talk about it. They're kind of good. About being Charlie Morton good, though. Charlie Morton has really turned on the afterburners here pre-All-Star break. And then his first start after the break looked refreshed. Looked like he went to Cancun, kicked himself around, had a good time. Or just, probably stayed and worked out and was a professional athlete. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits given up, no earned runs, 4 Ks, 11 ground balls. This is really what I love. 11 ground balls to 3 fly balls in that last outing. Outing before it at the break, Tampa Bay went down into Tampa. He was looking for a soul to steal. I know he's in Georgia now, and that's the whole... There wasn't a good joke to make there. 11 ground balls, 4 fly balls in Tampa Bay. Only that one earned given up there, too. In fact, he has not given up more than 4 hits in a single outing in his last 3. Has not given up more than 5 hits in a single outing in his last 6 besides 1. So 5 of his last 6. That's probably a better way of saying it. What I'm getting at is Charlie Morton is now down to a 3.20 ERA with a 37.5% hard hit percentage. And the K stuff is back, baby. 25.7% on the season. It's not up there in the 28s like he had last season, but another year older, another year wiser. Charlie Morton, baby. I am all systems go here on Atlanta -1.5. Yes, this is the chalk play, but I would argue this is a discount, even against a team like Arizona here. I am firing up them lock. My second favorite play on the board, my first being that over that we have in Coors Field, but got to pay attention to the weather in this one. Weather looks good here, but always be paying attention to pop-ups. It's 11-9, top of the 6th. Oh my God, I just noticed that. Tuesday night. Things are popping. Hopefully cash this Atlanta -1.5 too. Woo, I'm in a good mood. It's 11-9, top of 6. Bottom 6. I misread that. Whatever. No, it's top of 6, 11-9. That is absurd stuff. Anyway, I'll talk about baseball on Wednesday. Washington facing the Cubbies here for this one. +145 on the Washington side, 165 on the comeback here with the old Cubbies. And don't know who we're going to get from Washington side. I do have my prospects. I do have my ideas. I think we finally see Trevor Williams here. He pitched on the 14th, 5 days rest. I think that's enough. Or 4 days rest. Yeah, I think Trevor Williams is definitely an option here, but there's no official announced starter. But I think Trevor Williams is the guy who it ends up being here because that's who's listed on the DK book. Let me double check here for everybody. Yep, there we go. Cool. Trevor Williams, more than likely who you're going to end up getting in this spot. Just wanted to double check that because there is a line available. Didn't see the line until just now. That's why this was a lean before. That's wild stuff. Anyway, Trevor Williams, if it ends up being him, we like the over of 8.5. We really like it, especially considering Kyle Hendricks on the other side of this one. He's been better in terms of run prevention until recently, of course, but giving up very little hard contact, but it is fly ball contact and 15.6% K rate. This Washington team really doesn't strike out anyway against just about anybody. I'd say it's probably one of the more underrated teams in terms of avoiding strikeouts. Just an 86 WRC plus against righties. But I think this is a decent spot on the over of 8.5, especially because Trevor Williams is absolute garbaggio. Do pay attention, though. You had Christopher Morel get scratched. I would want to keep him in the lineup. That's a bat that I want a part of here if I'm on the over. So this is a meager lean at the moment. Would probably turn into a like in the event that we got Christopher Morel in and it was officially Trevor Williams. 2 games left to go. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell as we head to Kansas City. Can I check in on my lock here at the moment? Let's check in on the lock. Oh yeah, Kansas City's up now. That sucks. Well, that's a bummer. Well. Anyway, we'll talk about this one because I do have a play I think is all right here. Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound up against Ryan Yarbrough, who isn't all that good. We've seen him in Tampa Bay in days of yore. 5.29 ERA, 1.27 whip. He hasn't pitched since the 9th of July. So it's been nearly 10 days here. But Ryan Yarbrough, assuming he gets the scheduled start here on Wednesday, like he is told to do so here at Books, that's somebody you might want to be targeting, but not really at this number. -145. Felt good about the skoo ball side of it here. This is north of the -132 we were able to get that one at, even though that game is going south on me very, very quickly. Oh, on the other side, Eduardo Rodriguez is who I want to be backing. We saw his pitch count ramp up from 79 to 88 in his second start. That was all of 5 days ago here against Seattle. He's had 7 Ks in both of those first 2 outings since coming back off the 60-day IL. Well, I really do like Erod here overall. Yeah, we want to be looking at some Ks, if you will, here. Strikeout stuff overall has not really been a revamped thing for him. Mainly, it hasn't shown up until this season. 26.8% K rate. Now he's looking like the Red Sox version of himself. 6% walk rate, 32.7% hard hit percentage. May I say, trying to play himself out of Detroit? He'd look really good. Baltimore should really go get Erod. That would be like the prime target for them. Got to make it work money-wise, but I think that would definitely be who I would want if I'm them. Anyway, Erod gets it done for us up to 8 Ks. Yeah, I'll look at laddering it here. Got to see the numbers, of course. So if you want to know if I end up laddering it all the way up to that number or if it's sitting at 6.5, 7.5, we'll see exactly where this number lands because Kansas City, very bad against lefties. 24.8% K rate against lefties. These are good things for Erod heading into Wednesday. And the last play on the night, an island game. It's an island boy. Hour and a half later there. God, I hate these guys. But anyway, Seattle, Minnesota. You knew I was going to take an under here, right? Kenta Maeda and Luis Castillo. in the best ballpark for pitchers in baseball, yeah, we're going to definitely do it. Now, Kenta Maeda definitely been struggling a little bit more here of late. Had that tough outing against Oakland. That's never a good thing to say out loud. Up to a 5.50 ERA, but the strikeout stuff continues to be there. I think outside of that 10-run game against the Yankees, that is just inflating his ERA to places that it doesn't need to be. That's the difference between mean and median. Should we have that conversation one day? Mean, averaging them all together, not going to be as indicative as opposed to the median when you're talking about a guy who has one extreme outlier, like that 10-round outing that Kenta Maeda had before getting put on the IL, goes out for 60 days, comes back, has looked a lot better. Only 6 earned runs in those 4 starts on the road in Detroit, on the road in Atlanta, against Kansas City at home, on the road in Oakland, now another one on the road in Seattle here. But T-Mobile, that definitely helps. Same thing kind of applies to Luis Castillo, where he hasn't been as sharp of late, but this is a Minnesota team that I think you can continue to pick on. 27.2% K rate against right-handed pitching over the course of the season. Yes, Minnesota, we went after because of value that you had on the Minnesota side of it with different starters. Can we get Pablo Lopez Bailey over? Can we get a good outing tonight? That would be nice too. Anyway, my Minnesota Twins, I'm not going to be betting them outright at plus 145. Maeda, do think that the range of outcomes is a little bit wider on his end of the ball, or on his end of the bump. But Luis Castillo, I think, is very solid, gets it done, sub 3 ERA, 1.03 whip, everything looks good, and the matchup couldn't be a whole heck of a lot better for a pitcher in this ballpark. So the under of 7.5, just alike, not locking it. It's juiced a little bit outside of minus 110, but I am just fine with that. Oh, no, it's sitting at minus 110 on FanDuel Sportsbook. We like that. We like that a lot. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on the board for Wednesday. Check out BetMGM if you want to jump into that premium Discord. A lot of sharp people in there talking baseball all the live long day. We will be for sure on Wednesday, considering there's baseball in the morning, baseball in the afternoon, baseball in the evening. I'm going to be in there throughout, especially because my wife's out of town. So yay for me. It's going to be a lot of baseball. Might have to nooner or two. Let's go. Let's go. Now, I'm a respectable individual who's very professional. Thank you to producer Jacob, everybody. Thank you for everybody tuning in the last couple of days to Lindy's Locks update over on my Twitter. You can follow me at Eric Lindquist. Happy to be giving you updates on the locks, on all of the plays that I'm the most interested in, talking you through my process on how I land on these plays. Again, we're in it for the long haul. Let's keep going here. Let's right the ship here on a week that's been a little pitter-patter here. Monday's still profitable, 3 out of 4 home runs. That was really, really good stuff. So that's about it. I'm done talking now. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Wednesday.